Now at 5, hopefully a homecoming when Hamas-held hostages could be back with their families and negotiations for getting more of them released.
We had a beautiful day today. Of course, all eyes on your Thanksgiving forecast. We'll show you how this storm to the south might affect it.
And you'll soon see your Austin energy bill go up again. How many times the utility has increased rates this year alone?
First tonight at 5, we have some breaking news. Austin police are investigating a death in southeast Austin. It happened near the intersection of Deer Run Drive and Blue Dawn Trail. That's right near Langford Elementary School, if you know the area. It's near East William Cannon Drive and Bluff Springs Road. That area, by the way, is closed off at this hour.
Now, police originally said it was a homicide and a briefing would be held, but then APD posted on social media that it had canceled the briefing. It's unclear if the death is still being classified a homicide. We're working to learn more, and we will update you when we do.
To our top story now, it's a time when many are feeling thankful and some families are grateful to be reunited. Over the next 4 days, 50 hostages kidnapped to Gaza during Hamas's attack on Israel could be freed.
Americans, including a toddler, are expected to be among those released, and the deal also calls for a temporary ceasefire. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
Counting the hours, the families of hostages kidnapped by Hamas are in an agonizing final stretch before the first women and children could be released early Thursday morning. A senior Biden administration official says 3 Americans are expected in the first round, among them 3-year-old Abigail Moore Edan. Her family hoping to hold her by her birthday on Friday.
She's turning 4. And to just imagine that she comes home and is with her family is our light right now.
Israel and Hamas each announced overnight they'd agreed to exchange 50 women and children Hamas is holding hostage for an initial 4-day pause in fighting and the release of roughly 150 Israeli-held Palestinian prisoners, including women and teenagers. The temporary ceasefire could be extended for each day that Hamas releases an additional 10 hostages.
That was not the terms of the deal even 2 to 3 weeks ago. And that's because Hamas is under tremendous pressure.
Brett McGurk was part of the U.S. team that helped broker the deal alongside Qatar and Egypt. President Biden saying he won't stop until all American hostages are free.
We structured this deal in a way that incentivizes the release of all hostages.
Israeli-American Galia Mizrahi has heard her young cousins and their mother could be among the first group released.
We're lucky, God willing, but it has to be everyone at the end of the day.
The agreement also allows for 300 to 400 trucks of aid per day to enter Gaza, including fuel, to ease the humanitarian crisis. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, the FBI is investigating a vehicle that crashed, causing a fiery explosion this afternoon at the border crossing between Canada and the U.S. This happened at the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls. Now, here's what we know so far. 2 people in that vehicle that exploded are dead, and 1 person working at the border has minor injuries. Officials say the car had been speeding before going airborne, crashing, and then bursting into flames. State police are working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, but the governor of New York says there is no indication this was a terrorist attack. All 4 bridges connecting western New York to Canada will be closed for the time being. Much more on this coming up on NBC Nightly News right after this newscast.
Soon, more nurses at Ascension Seton Medical Center here in Austin will go on strike. They're joining other nurses in Kansas, totaling over 2,000 nurses. The 1-day strike will start on December 6th. The union said they're striking against what they call unsafe conditions, including a lack of equipment such as functional IV pumps and thermometers here in Austin. Now, nurses say management wants labor and delivery nurses with as little as 18 months of experience be assigned to what they call charge roles. They say those roles are usually given to experienced nurses in safely staffed hospitals because they are responsible for the smooth functioning of their units and act as resource nurses. Now, we have asked Ascension Seton Medical Center about all these claims and how the strike will impact staffing. We are waiting to hear back.
All right, well, today is the day. We now know the winner of the KXAN Friendsgiving Challenge between KXAN meteorologist David Yeomans and Kristen Curry. So, who raised the most money for the Central Texas Food Bank?
KXAN's Friendsgiving Challenge. You picked a team, donated what you could, and directly helped our community. So which KXAN meteorologist won the Friendsgiving Challenge this year? Was it Team David or was it Team Kristen?
We did it, and no matter how much you were able to donate to either team, we are so grateful for your donation to the Friendsgiving Challenge. I know I speak for David and I when we say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Now the real test is if they stay friends after this little friendly competition. I know David doesn't like to lose.
It got kind of fiery, yeah.
You know, this back and forth, winning alternate years, keeps everybody happy.
It does. But the truth is that everybody won. Central Texas stepped up, and they were so generous in making sure that all these families here in our area have a hot meal this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and every year they're raising more, but the need continues to be great.
Yes, it
so
does.
still a whole lot of need out there, but congratulations to Team Kristen, Team David, and all of you for donating at home. Really was a fantastic thing. Here's a look outside at Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera in South Austin, which is full of blue skies here as we head into the early evening hours, and we've got just had a lovely weather here today, and it should be pretty nice going into the evening as well. Most of us are in the low to mid 60s now, even a few upper 50s showing up, and aside for a few clouds into Fayette County, generally it's a clear start to your evening. We do expect a slow increase in cloud cover tonight. Even though a few high clouds drift in, temperatures will drop in a hurry. 53 by 7, 40s at 9, and 46 here at 11. Coming up in first warning weather, we've got the chance for a shower or two here for your Thanksgiving. We'll show you a warmer Black Friday, and then lots of chilly air over the next week.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. Well, your Austin energy bill is going up again. Austin Energy is implementing a 5% increase to the power supply adjustment rate starting December 1st. This will be the 5th time the utility has increased its rate over the past year. Austin Energy says the increases help cover the cost of buying energy on the ERCOT market. Now, for the typical residential customer, the impact will be about an extra $2 per month. Well, a Houston attorney arrested and accused of sneaking drugs into jails. How police say he did it and what authorities are saying about a trend.
And a live report from the airport on one of the busiest travel days of the year. How things are looking for folks coming in and heading out of Austin.
A 77-year-old Texas defense attorney is facing charges accused of supplying paper laced with ecstasy and synthetic marijuana to inmates inside the Harris County Jail in Houston.
And this is the same jail where 3 inmates have died over the past week. Bill Barajas reports.
Ronald Lewis was supposed to be in court representing his clients, but over the weekend, he was here to face a judge in his own case.
When Mr. Lewis visited the jail last Friday, November 17th, our team was ready. They arrested Mr. Lewis and found him carrying multiple sheets of paper contaminated with a substance that is now being tested to confirm whether it's indeed an illegal narcotic.
The 77-year-old charged with 2 counts of prohibited substance in a correctional facility. These photos show Lewis at the jail on several occasions. They are now evidence in a jail-based criminal investigation, a response to a major increase in drug overdoses.
The laced sheets of paper were often disguised as legal mail or other forms of legal documents. Inmates will pay the attorney $250 to $500 to bring in the laced papers. Mr. Lewis visited 14 inmates from July 2023 until November 2023.
Over the past week, there's been 3 deaths at the Harris County Jail. Sheriff Gonzalez says none of them are connected to Lewis, but at least one of them is believed to involve some kind of illegal substance.
No one's immune from these, whether again it be our own staff or it could be a contractor that comes in, it could be family members, it could be attorneys as well, obviously. So we don't think it's necessarily widespread, but it does exist. A lot of the mail will go from the traditional paper-based mail that may arrive for defendants that may be incarcerated, and instead will go to a more digital system.
That was Bill Barajas reporting. This investigation is ongoing, but Sheriff Gonzalez says there is believed to be other separate but similar cases involving attorneys supplying illegal substances to inmates.
Well, still ahead, find out which Thanksgiving side dish reigns supreme in Texas.
And some not good news here in the pollen department today. Cedar has shown up for the first time this season, although it's at low levels here for now. Our temperatures today We're at rather average levels at 66 degrees. We'll show you a lot of chilly air and also a little rain over the next week in First Warning Weather.
Over the river and through the woods, Thanksgiving now less than 24 hours away, and travelers are flocking to Austin Bergstrom International Airport, flying out for the holiday. TSA anticipates this will be the busiest holiday travel season ever.
The agency expects more than 2.7 million passengers to move through airport security today nationally. KXAN's Sarah Al-Sheikh is live at the Austin Airport. Sarah, how's it looking out there?
As you can imagine, the airport is crowded today. You can see a line of people here at departures. They're standing in front of the TSA regular screening. These are among the thousands of travelers airport officials expect to fly out today. It's that time of the year again as the holiday season rolls in. Long lines and crowded airports come with it.
It's a little stressed, but it's manageable.
The Austin Bergstrom International Airport says it's expecting about 34,000 departing travelers Wednesday.
That's not a record-breaking busy day, but it is busy. And what we're seeing are a lot of families, lots of strollers and small children, big groups.
As more travelers continue to fly through, the airport is working on an expansion plan to keep up with the demand. Recently, it asked passengers to fill out a survey to help the airport understand what types of travelers are flying through ABIA, whether it be for leisure or business. Travelers also left suggestions for improvements. Some wanted dedicated lines for business or solo travelers, and others wanted faster baggage delivery to the carousel. The airport says the survey helps it understand the needs of their passengers. So whether arriving back into Austin,
just waiting for my wife to pick me up, but she's stuck in about 20 minutes of traffic. I think she had a harder part than I did. She's a little stressed.
Or departing to a new destination.
We're gonna take the kids to Disneyland and Universal.
People say they're excited to get the traveling out of the way and enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday with family and friends.
Once we're all in the car, we get out of the airport, get to the grocery store, get everything we need, I think we'll be ready to go.
I think the most thing is just to celebrate with the family and enjoy the time. Happy Thanksgiving!
When it comes to parking, airport officials suggest going to ABIAparking.com to get a real-time look at available lots. And I do have some good news. Airport officials tell me that TSA has been able to keep wait times under 30 minutes throughout the day, which is really important and really good news for travelers. Reporting in Austin, Sarah Al-Sheikh, KXAN News.
Oh my goodness, and fingers crossed it stays like that. Sarah, thank you so much. Now, you guys, we do have a very important topic to discuss. There's a new study out that reveals Texans' favorite Thanksgiving side dish. I know the wheels are turning at home too. So what do y'all think it could be?
I'll go with potatoes.
Okay, mashed potatoes,
yeah.
Yes.
I was on our website earlier, so I know the answer. So I'm not going to participate.
Just to avoid it.
At least he's honest, right? Well, check it out. HubScore finds green bean casserole is the Thanksgiving side winner of Texas. Corn casserole trails behind, followed by Nick's mashed potatoes. Then you have the mac and cheese and the sweet potato casserole. Now, our digital data reporter, Christopher Adams, has a map here showing each state's favorite and how each side got the vote. So you can check it out under this story at KXAN.com. So green beans surprised me, but my question is, where's the stuffing? I think we all need a good stuffing at the table.
You would think maybe that's 5 or 6 on the list, but it should be higher.
I think so too. And then it's also dressing in different parts of the country, right? Stuffing or dressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in our house, we do red meat. We don't even like turkey, so it's so weird, but very Texan, if you ask me. So what's the latest on the Thanksgiving weather?
Well, you know, it's going to be rather cloudy here tomorrow, but your house will likely be warm with the oven on most of the day because the air outside is going to be on the chilly side. That's thanks to a storm system working through South Texas now, bringing a bit of rain. Now, a lot of the steadier rain is going to miss us to the south and southeast here tomorrow, but we do think parts of the area get clipped by just a little bit of light rain and some sprinkles too. First come the clouds. Those are already starting to show up in parts of our eastern counties. We do think they thicken up more so as we head toward and after midnight. But by the time you're waking up here Thanksgiving morning, if you're up this early at 7, I think it's just going to be cloudy but still dry. After 8 o'clock though, shower chances start to show up. Sprinkles at first and then more of a shower or two here as we approach the middle of the day. Perhaps not quite as widespread as this, but at least a few drops around. And then things are already starting to dry out after about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and early evening. And notice late afternoon, you may even get some sunshine if you're lucky, especially west of I-35 here tomorrow. So it's not a lot of rain, and most of it comes during the middle of the day. Amounts look generally light, and then it's over with as we head into your Thursday night, setting you up for a Black Friday that looks rather dry. We do expect if you're up early shopping Friday morning, there could be some areas of fog and low clouds that may be locally dense. But as we approach the middle of the day on Friday, the sun is out and Friday afternoon looks absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it might be the nicest weather of the next week. How much rain are we getting tomorrow? Generally just a few hundredths of an inch of rain along and east of I-35. There may be a few areas that get a little bit more than this, but you get the idea that amounts look very light. So our forecast tonight, increasing clouds, overnight lows in Austin of 40, but where the clouds take the longest to fill in the hill country, you could get down into the mid-30s by the time you start out the day here tomorrow. Pretty gray day, mostly cloudy, a high of only 59 in Austin, although some 60s in the hill country, and then those spotty light showers late morning, early afternoon. 20% of us get measurable rain. There's your Friday. It looks pretty nice, especially with the afternoon sun. And we're up to 66 because thicker clouds come back for both days of the weekend. 20% daytime rain chances Saturday, but that's up to 40% Saturday evening and night, and then back down to 20% on Sunday. So you're most likely to get some rain Saturday night. Although that doesn't look like a lot either. Then a cold front comes in around the middle of the day Sunday, knocks us into the 50s, and then we stay there for several days. This is chilly for this time of year. We should be in the upper 60s instead of the upper 50s. But while you see a lot of rain chances over the next week, generally this doesn't amount to much. We're thinking less than 1/4 of an inch for all of us when we add up the next 7 days. Still, some rain is a good thing, of course. Looking at our first warning weather 7-day forecast, you see that even after the weekend, a lot of clouds on Monday, 10% rain chance, 54 degrees, 57 with a little more sunshine Tuesday, and then those rain chances are back up slightly to 20% on Wednesday.
Nick, thank you. After the break, the preps going into tomorrow's Thanksgiving Day parade in New York City, and listen to the band from Texas marching down the streets of the Big Apple.
But first, don't forget to tune in to the countdown to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade tonight at 7 o'clock right here on KXAN. And then it's going to be a Saturday Night Live Thanksgiving special at 8 o'clock. And then we're back with more news at 10.
Join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 on CW Austin.
All right, well, they're blowing up the balloons for tomorrow's Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. In all, 49 balloons will take part in the 97th edition of the famous parade. 16 character balloons, including 7 new entries this year, and 33 heritage and novelty balloons. There will also be 26 floats, 12 marching bands, and other musical performers. And one of those marching bands is from the Lone Star State.
Alrighty, it's Texas Tech's Goin' Band from Raiderland. They took over Studio 1A this morning on the Today Show, giving us a sneak peek for what's in store tomorrow.
All the way from Lubbock, Texas, the Texas Tech University's
Goin'
Band from Raiderland.
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yes. Hey. Oh, hey. Look at this.
Yes.
Hi, guys and gals.
Wow. You do this every day. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey. Look at the drum major.
Here she is.
Go. Oh, that's awesome.
She's got her baton.
All right, the control room.
Oh my goodness, how well produced is that? That looks so fun. You can watch them tomorrow in the parade right here on NBC. Way to go, representing, guys. That's awesome.
Very nice. And then after Thanksgiving dinner, don't forget about football nights in America. We've got the 49ers versus the Seahawks. Here's what to expect in that matchup.
Welcome inside the studio. Maria Taylor alongside Devin McCourty and Jason Garrett. Our Week 12 matchup coming on Thanksgiving is going to be the 49ers and the Seahawks. And Brock Purdy's coming off a perfect passer rating. I really don't know how he does it any better on Thursday.
You know, he had that stretch early on in the season where 3 games where he didn't play quite so well, but he's been really hot lately. And, boy, he's been orchestrating that thing. Perfect ratings are hard to come by. Seattle let one get away from him last week. It's a big game for them.
Yeah, and it's a big game because Seattle comes off a tough loss. but then you got to play the 49ers. This team has looked as good as it looked in the beginning of the season these last 2 weeks. I think they heard all of the talk. They heard the noise. They're not the same. They're like, nope, we're still a dominant football team.
All right, so eat your turkey, then join us at 8:20 for kickoff.